All knowledge begins in wonder, and I think one of the most extraordinary gifts is to be filled with that wonder throughout one's life.
I always consider myself one of the 7 billion human beings.
The Mind and Life Institute is an amazing organization that has been able to catalyze an entire field.
The Mind and Life Institute has, for the last 27 years, lived off of the traditions of science on the one side and traditions of contemplative philosophy and humanistic studies and practice on the other.
And Your Holiness, you have been such an inspiration and so important in catalyzing these new fields of inquiry that we come together here to discuss, to celebrate, and to further.
There's the scientists that actually are there trying to get to the empirical heart of how do these things work. There's the contemplative scholars and religious studies and humanities folks. There's the people that really want to just start bringing these applications into the real world, whether it's in education or social justice, or even in the clinical context. How do you bring this to patients or people suffering? Seeing the sea of people really, to me, was the full spectrum of what we need in order to be able to have this entire enterprise of contemplative studies.
We, as a part of the humanity, we cannot remain indifferent.
What I'm learning from my own research has to do with what happens when you put people through a very high demand period of time. So if it's a soldier, it's during their daily physical training, or if it's a football player, it's during lifting weights every day, or if it's a student, it's when they're coming to class. We're preparing them to be able to do the task that's ahead of them by giving them, in particular, mindfulness training in the interval before they have to go do it.
External world, internal world is purely knowledge.
When I think of mindfulness in the broader world and being here at this conference around contemplative practice, it's on one hand very encouraging. In the area of education, in terms of post-traumatic stress syndrome, it's 5 or 6 times higher in low-income communities of color. So you literally have a lot of students, kids that can't regulate themselves. One of the most effective ways of addressing that is contemplative practice, and it's from that place that education can really flourish.
So our top priority is happy life. In order to achieve happy life means healthy body, healthy mind.
The bedrock of Mind and Life is really promoting and supporting and disseminating basic contemplative research that's out there. I mean, without Mind and Life, there would really be very little, if any. It seems pretty crazy that by paying attention, you could actually change an addictive behavior. You can take a really hardcore, serious addiction that you reinforce. Let's say if you smoke a pack of cigarettes, you're reinforcing this behavior 20 times a day. If you pay attention when you smoke, you see what you actually get from it. And suddenly, the next time you smoke, you're like, oh, that wasn't as good. And this starts to take hold and people start to become disenchanted and they start to change their behavior just by paying attention.
We are same human being. We are part of the 7 billion human beings. We all have common responsibility to think, to serve as much as possible to humanity and planet.